Hi everyone, welcome to my latest video review. This is on the Ninja Steel action figures loose. I do apologize for the delay without making this. Um, I fell ill and I was also working a lot and yeah, so I really didn't get a chance to make this review. And I do want to apologize for the low quality of the previous review of these figures when mint on card, because I usually do the mint on card first and then I get into the loose figures. I did that before I got the tripod, and yeah, unfortunately, if I had the figures still mint on card, which I don't have enough patience to keep them mint on card for that long, I would have redone the review, and I didn't have the webcam and the tripod at that time. Yeah, so anyways, let's continue. So as you can see, I've already put the weapons on these figures. Um, yeah, because otherwise it's just gonna waste time fiddling around putting the weapons on, especially with the new figures. It's not as easy as putting the weapons on. Like the vintage figures, like the space figures or Lost Galaxy or whatever, it was so much more easier. But now, like, they make the hands look real and they shrink them down and it's just really hard. But anyways, yeah, so that's the entire team, like, loose. They only come with the one weapon, it's that black sword there. So like they went back to the black weapons, which was used in Super Mega Force, and Dino Charge used the lime green weapons, and they only had the one weapon. And let's get started here. So I'm just going to move closer so I can show you the figures in more detail. So this is... Here we go. So this is the Red Ranger figure. Let me just quickly show you the weapon and what it looks like up close. Yeah, so there's no real, like, except for, like, the details being molded in, there's no real color to them. That's the weapon. And this is the figure itself. So it's your standard Bandai 5-inch figure. Articulation is pretty much the same. You have the hands that... It's actually pretty tight on these figures. It's like... Move them up, like so. You can't move it any further up because of how the figure is molded near the shoulders. Or you can move it up and down like so, or you can move it from the shoulder up and down. Or from the elbow, you can go, oops, I'm like covering the figure there, you can move like up and down. Or you have like wrist articulation 360 like that. So for the head, you have, you can move the head as well. And the leg, you can go, move the leg like so. And from the knee, you can move it up and down. And yeah, so pretty much the same basic articulation all the 5-inch figures have. So, pretty basic when compared to the figure arts because it's not, well, we have all the figure arts too, but what I meant to say was the 6-inch line. Because they had like a bunch of different articulation points, but then again, those figures are meant for like collectors. That's the figure right there. I haven't really watched Ninja or seen enough pictures of these Rangers, so I don't know if it's actually supposed to be completely black to belt or if it's actually supposed to have any detailing on it, but that's what it looks like. And for the first time ever, because for the longest time, the figures always had like a holster or like a peg where you could attach the weapon and put it on like so. But these figures didn't come with anything, so you can't really attach the weapon. So if you're displaying these figures and you don't want to lose the weapon, it would be best if you keep it with the figure holding the weapon or close to the figure or whatever works for you. That's the Red Ranger. So next I'll show you the Pink Ranger. As you can already tell, the hands are like extremely small. So it's very awkward when you want the figure to hold the sword because the handle is quite big. So let me show you the articulation for these figures. So you can move them up and down. Oops, looks like I'm away from the camera. Or you can, from the elbow up and down. And same thing, so you can also move their hands. It's like a 360. And you also can move their heads. And the leg, this time around, they gave them proper skirts. Before they gave the Mighty Morphin / Zeo shaped skirts for the longest times for Samurai all the way until Dino Charge. For once, they finally gave us the proper skirt, which is pretty cool, which is good. And they also gave us slits in the skirt, so that way you can move the leg as far as you want it to go. That's if you're into the action poses. And you can also move the leg is kind of hindered. I mean, you could like force it, but it's really up to you. But it does get pulled back because the plastic is kind of hard on the skirt. Then you have the knee articulation where you can move the leg back and forth. Or you also have the boot articulation like that. To be honest, I'm not a fan of the skirt having slits like that. Because of it having slits, it looks really awkward. Like it's not like the Mighty Morphin or the Space Rangers having like small slits on them, so it looks really weird, especially when you're posing them in like a regular pose. You have this big like opening on the side there. But Pink Ranger is pretty decent. I'll later show you like what I mean by that. White Ranger skirt is the worst. And like I said, I'll eventually get into that. So yeah, so before, just put her back right there. So this is what the back of the figure looks like. Honestly, I don't know why they put the model number or whatever that is on the actual figure instead of on the actual on the surface of the figure where it can be easily like seen. They should just put it like on the sole of the figure, so that way like if you're standing the figure, you don't have this like obstruction right there in the mid. So yeah, I never understood why Bandai did that. So yeah, that's the Pink Ranger there, and I'll show you yellow. That's what he looks like there. One thing I'm not a fan of is, like the previous figures, their joints are actually not as loose. You can't move them easily. It feels like you might like snap them if you're not careful. This is a Yellow Ranger. It's, as much as I love female Yellow Rangers, pretty unique to have another male Yellow Ranger. The last one we had, I believe, was in Mystic Force. Oops, my butterfingers, they're dropping the figures. Like, see the male figures, they have whatever number this is on the thigh right there. Like, I don't know why they do that. It kind of takes away, especially when you're pulsing them, to have like this random like thing on the figure. Like, I guess they didn't think it through. So that's the Ranger, and the articulation is the same as the Red Rangers. I'm not going to go right through them. Next is White Rangers. As you can see, this is what she looks like. And back to what I was talking about, the slits on the skirt. The White Ranger, it's probably the same on the Pink Ranger too. The skirt actually is not attached all the way to the belt, so there is actually a separation right there. So because of that, the skirt really looks very awkward, and it just does not look right when you're standing the figure. I mean, from far it looks fine, but the whole slit thing, it took away from the overall look, in my opinion. But I guess since a lot of fans were complaining of the immobility of the female figures, I guess that's why they did it. So this is the White Ranger there. And then lastly, the Blue Ranger. For the Blue Ranger, they used a really dark blue, which is pretty cool. Makes him look really nice. Because the blue and the black really do complement each other. So that's the Ninja Steel figures. In my opinion, I love them. Like, no complaints. Actually, that's a lie. There are like a little few complaints, which are like, one of the complaints would be like the lack of weapons. Like, they only have this weapon right here. They don't really have anything else. And yeah, the model number, like the part number, is just like randomly on the figure. It's not like hidden so that it can't be seen. Yeah, but overall, they look pretty amazing. Like, all the details, from what I can tell, at least on the front, look spot on. And yeah, well, the slits of the skirts, I already touched on that. Yeah, so I really don't, it's not really major complaints. Like, they did what they had to do, and they look pretty awesome. And the fact that they got rid of the Mighty Morphin / Zeo type skirts is finally, like, some improvement there. And yeah, so as far as pricing goes, what I've noticed is that these figures actually went up in price. They're actually like $1 more from the Dino Charge figures. Yeah, so, and as far as like availability goes, in the US, from pictures I've seen, these figures are already available everywhere. But if you're in Canada and you find these figures, get them, because if you do not get them, you will lose out on them. I was lucky enough to grab them a month back, and best decision I ever made, because ever since then I never saw these figures again. And I'm not exaggerating. I didn't even see even one figure. So like, grabbing these figures, when I saw them, I was contemplating. I was like, should I not? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna grab them, whatever, and I just went for it. And best decision ever. Like, if you're in Canada, go for them, because you won't see them. And I was in different Toys R Us, and same thing. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to ask. And one thing that I always say in a lot of my videos is, do not purchase these online, because you will eventually find them in stores. Because online, they do not, of course, they don't sell them at retail. They sell them like double or triple the price. Eventually, you're going to regret them because you didn't wait. So that's my review there. And yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great day.